I answered my husband's phone and heard another woman call him husband. It was a completely normal evening. Nothing dramatic, nothing suspicious. My husband had left his phone on the kitchen counter while he was upstairs taking a shower. I was sitting on the couch, half watching TV, half scrolling on my own phone when his phone suddenly started ringing. Normally wouldn't touch IT. We trusted each other and never went through each other's phones. But the screen kept lighting up again and again. Whoever was calling clearly wasn't planning to stop. Finally, I walked over and looked at the screen. No name, just a number. For a moment I hesitated. Then I picked it up and answered. Hello? There was a short pause on the other side. Then a woman's voice spoke. Oh, you answered fast today, husband. The word hit me like ice water. Husband. My heart immediately started racing. For a second I thought maybe I misheard her. Maybe she said something else. But then she spoke again. Are you still coming tomorrow? I told my parents you'd finally visit this time. I couldn't speak. My mind was spinning, my hands started shaking around the phone. Finally I managed to say, who is this? The woman on the other end went quiet. Completely silent. Then she slowly said, wait. Who are you? That's when everything fell apart. I felt like the floor had disappeared under me. I had been married to this man for 4 years. 4 years of shared holidays. Family dinners, quiet Sunday mornings. Late night conversations about the future. And suddenly a stranger was calling him husband. I didn't even remember hanging up. The next thing I remember is sitting on the couch, staring at the wall while the shower upstairs kept running. When he finally came downstairs, smiling like any normal night, he immediately noticed something was wrong. What happened? I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I just slid his phone across the table and quietly said, your wife called. The color drained from his face. For a moment he just stood there staring at the phone, like it was something dangerous. Then he slowly sat down. The silence in the room felt heavy. Finally he spoke. But what he said wasn't what I expected. He told me about a woman he met years ago, when he was working overseas before we ever met. They had dated seriously. And during a complicated situation with visas and family pressure, they had signed marriage papers in her country so she could stay there legally. According to him, it was supposed to be temporary. A technical marriage on paper. They eventually separated, stopped talking. And he thought everything had been legally handled. Except, apparently it hadn't been. She still believed they were married. The call that night wasn't from a secret second wife, living nearby. It was someone on the other side of the world who thought their relationship had never officially ended. I spent hours that night listening to a story I had never heard before. Lawyers were called. Documents were pulled up. Months later everything was finally sorted out legally. But I'll never forget that moment when I answered a ringing phone and heard a stranger call my husband. Because in that single second, the entire life I thought I understood suddenly felt like a complete mystery.